Hey, it looks like it's the end of the month. You're here with Chico on Call Options Trading, and we're going to do a monthly recap on our performance in July. And so, before we get to the spreadsheet, what happened was we had a really busy month. There was a lot of trades, and we were 14 for 17 trades. And unfortunately, there was one or two trades, particularly with Cadence and Carvana, that kind of wiped out our hard-earned efforts and profits. But it didn't wipe it out completely. We still came out positive for the month. But these two was quite, how do you say, we sold the call option with, in my opinion, like a decent amount of safety margin. But yeah, Cadence surprisingly beat their quarter and raised their forecast. And it really like took off. Cadence makes tools to build AI chips to design them. It's the software that you perform your design and layout and what have you. So that was unexpected, and immediately I closed it out and moved on, and was able to start to gather momentum to recoup some profits. And then Carvana reported, and I'm a pro Carvana. We have it in our buying and selling series, and it's doing well for our portfolio. But given how high it was, and what expectations I would think the street would expect, I didn't think that the upside would be so strong in this earnings release. But it was, it was a good quarter, and they beat expectations. And surprisingly, their stock really jumped high. And I think maybe there was a little bit of factor of short sellers, trying to cover too, perhaps. And anyways, it went into the money near the end of the last week. If we held it on till expiration, it would have came back out of the money. But we made a jump on that play to make a position on Roku, and that proved to be good. We made money off Roku, but yeah, it kind of like puts a dampener in being put in our overall profits for the month. So that's kind of how it is, and the markets are still surprisingly surging in the month of July, which is great for the economy and all that stuff. It's okay for us. We're able to make money. It's just, I think we just hit a landmine with one or two trades that really kind of pulled us back, but we're still in the positive territory. So moving on from here, I think we will continue. We're still in earnings season, so in the month of August, hopefully we still can have a strong month and continue to make money. Overall, in the video series, which we'll look in the spreadsheet, we are doing well. We are making money, and we like to make more money, of course. And so hopefully we can avoid like these one or two bad trades that are really like taking a significant amount of the pie from us. Okay, let's go to the spreadsheet.
All right, let's go over the numbers for the month of July. Yeah, so the first week of July, yeah, we had one play with Carvana. It was a short week, and it was kind of like a little bit of a loss on that one, where it did go into the money, and we got exercised, and we had to sell the stock at the $345 strike price, and then and take it. But we did collect on the premium, and then if you combine that with the loss you had for assignment, then we're down minus $47. So yeah, it's kind of close to break even there, a little bit on the negative side. So that's a loss on that one. Then the first week, the second week from July 7th to 11th, 7-11, that's right, that's the magic number. We were able to make $460 this week with Carvana. We came back for it because it was like, near all-time high. So, and also it was coming off a dip, so it was very ideal, I thought. And sure enough, we made money off that. Shopify, with tariffs hanging over their heads, it's also good. And then Nvidia was surging to new highs, and we made a play for Nvidia and made money off that. Then the following week, again, we continue our momentum. Palantir, Shopify, AMD, Palantir again, and made $423. Palantir was because it was closing at record highs, and so kind of like limited upside in my first personal view, with like high implied volatility for a good amount on the premium. And when sure enough, we were able to scrape $423. Yeah. Then the following week, again, we made more money off Palantir, Shopify again, and then Google, announced earnings, and sure enough, we were the contract that we sold was stayed out of the money because Google only went up a little bit, and then we definitely cashed in good on Intel, who had I think they made earnings, but their turnaround story wasn't so good, and they kind of plummeted. And then we finished with the week with Avago. Avago is kind of more of a steady stock, chip stock, that is kind of ideal at this point, being at record highs, to do something close to the money on the last day. And yet we made $717. Now the last week of July in our calendar, for our monthly month here, we started earnings season with Cadence. Earnings season started for tech the previous week with Google, but yeah, we rolled into Cadence, and Cadence, they beat and upped their forecasts. I was a little surprised at that, like I mentioned, and especially with ASML saying there's macroeconomic conditions about customers buying their chip making equipment. I thought Cadence would probably be more on the steady side, and given the premium price that we were able to sell it at $525 for the amount, the strike price that was above the present trading price, I thought it was good. But no, it went higher, and we took a relatively big loss on that one, almost $1,300. And then Starbucks missed their earnings, or I think they met their earnings, but things aren't going so well for them. It's fast in the food industry is just tough. The only company this month that did well that I know of was Wingstop, but Starbucks continues to struggle in their comeback story. And we made money off that, $324. Carvana announced earnings, and our strike price for our contract that we sold was $385, and $385 was not good enough because it surged really quite a bit after earnings. And so I immediately closed it so we can pursue Roku. And Roku, we got $752 because Roku plummeted it after their earnings. And then we closed the week with Shopify. I was able to sell the 3 contracts at 22 cents on Friday, and then went to expiration. So we collected all $66. Unfortunately, this week we were down $1,022. But given that we had the loss on Cadence and Carvana, the other trades help reduce the damage on that. So overall for the month, we did $530, and that means 1.33% gain for the month if you can calculate that against the 40K you're given at the beginning of the month. And we're 14 for 17 trades correct for this month. So we go to the summary since the beginning of this video series. You can see here July has contributed 530. Of course, we would like to see more, and I feel like we can do more on average, but this month, we're still in the positive zone at least. And overall in this video series with 40K every month, we're up 2,900 and change, so almost $3,000. And here's my success rate for the number of profitable trades: 60 of them out of 72. And do note in these statistics, there's some that we just take a loss on quickly so we can move on to other stuff. So that kind of may skew the number a little bit, where it can be a little bit higher, but it doesn't really matter. It's what you need to see is like it's really up there, like it's 83.3%, and I feel like that's definitely something very important to have control over and to give you confidence in trading, selling call options. Okay, that's it for the spreadsheet.
Okay, that's it for today. So now we're gonna reset the account back to 40K for a new full month. I know we had August 1st, we lumped that with in July. So back to 40K. We do cover calls for the sake of budgetary reasons in this video. We don't use any margin. It's up to you if you want to do a cover call or a naked call. Of course, naked call, you don't have to worry about the downside. Cover call, typically you want to do it because you already own the shares, or you want to de-risk yourself by not having to worry about some crazy upside. But of course, then you're tied with the downside. Okay, so just a quick refresh on that. And yeah, hopefully we continue in this earnings season to be able to land some big fish. There's money to be made out there. Why not make it?